People, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 14, and we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I tried to do the 14 sign, but I fucked it
Nah,
up.
nah.
I fucked
We
it
all
up.
we all do those mistakes, bro.
I fucked it up. Yeah, I'm not really good with the hand gestures, with the
Nah,
hand language things, but whatever.
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm alright. Just finished watching Romania Holland.
Yeah.
Holland won 3-0 against the Dutch, where they should have won 8-0 at least.
No, the Dutch
But
one,
other
3-0. The Dutch one,
yeah,
3-0.
did I say Romania?
Yeah, you said Romania, yeah.
Whoops, pardon me.
No,
The Dutch won 3-0 against Romania, where it should have been they should have won 8-0 in reality because they missed a
yeah,
lot of chances. But other than that, yeah, we're okay. How are you, bro? You good?
yeah, I good. I mean, last week was a very, very eventful week because I attended the Mediterranean Film Festival and we had a lot of events going on. Met a lot of famous people as well. One including Patrice Evra, which was a surreal moment for me.
Shout to
Uh,
Evra, man. Shout to
yeah,
Evra.
yeah, I love this game. I love this game. Shout out.
And of course, shout out even more because we're both United fans. So
Yeah,
shout out even
exactly.
more.
Perfect.
One
Really
love.
surreal moment as well. Yeah, I mean, same like you. I've been watching the slowly getting into the week as we speak. But yeah, I'm pretty much okay at the moment. So guys, this episode's coming a bit of a day late because we usually record our episodes on Monday and then around Tuesday, Wednesday we release the episodes. But unfortunately, both me and Malcolm couldn't attend the recording on Monday, so this episode is going to come a day later than usual. It's just for this week only. And before we begin, make sure to do the usual, do your thing. Hit us with a like, comment, and share on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. Shout as well a 5-star rating on the drill. And also, guys, before to go, I was invited to the Adler podcast hosted by Andrea Gravina. I'm going to be putting the link in the description in the episode description. Basically, it's a podcast about movies, video games, and television shows. Got invited as a special guest for the second time in the podcast, so make sure to give us to give my to give Andrea a follow and a like on his socials. He's on Spotify and also on YouTube and even on Instagram. So give them
Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them.
shout out to them. And with that, we can start today's episode where we will be talking not only about the Austrian Grand Prix, which we'll get to very soon, but we have more announcements related to drivers extensions. Malcolm, what do you say?
One very decent and expected, and I think they've made their intentions
Yes.
clear. And the other, we expected, but for the completely opposite of reasons.
Yes, and
Completely
that's
opposite reasons.
yeah, I'm with
And
you
I
on
think
that.
that pretty much sum it up. We're gonna say who they are.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
man.
the first driver who has announced his extension is Pierre Gasly, agreeing a multi-year extension with Alpine, so he will be staying with the Enston-based team for 2025 and beyond. Listen, he may have he right now he's having a very difficult season with the team. However, this was a sensible move for the team. I mean, obviously they had to get rid of the Ocon situation at first because he was causing a lot of toxicity and drama with the team. But with Pierre Gasly, they have a vision. Let's hope they have a vision with Pierre Gasly because he's like the only spark of hope they have at the moment with Alpine at the moment. What do you think?
Listen, regarding Gasly not really performing with Alpine, I think Alpine as a whole they're having a very difficult time at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think when they made the decision to terminate Ocon, they made their intentions very clear that their focus is going to be on Gasly. So in reality, the fact that they extended Gasly's contract is not even a surprise.
Yes.
But
And
in the best of ways. It's very
yeah,
reasonable, very sensible, and everyone agrees with it. Everyone agrees with
yeah.
it. That Gasly, they see him as their way forward, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Look, he's not a bad driver as well. I
Not
mean,
at all.
he has.
We know what he can do.
Yes, we have
Everyone knows
absolutely.
what he can do. We
Yes.
could see what the job he did with Alpha Tauri.
Yeah. One
And
listen,
and even before Alpha Tauri with Toro Rosso. Let's not include that half a season with Red Bull.
no,
I don't want to
no,
include
obviously.
that. I don't really want to include that half season. But what he did with Toro Rosso and then when he went back to Alpha Tauri, That's where he really shone, and he won a race,
And
if
two
not two
podiums.
races.
And two
When
podiums. No,
two
one
podiums, yeah,
race.
he,
No, one race and
yeah,
one race and two
yeah,
podiums.
he got a race win in Monza,
Yes.
and two podiums, which one of them was the race win, and the other one I believe was in Baku.
In Monza as well, or in Brazil. I'm not sure. I'm not in my head at the moment, but I think it was one of them. I think it was in no one was definitely in Monza or Brazil. It's one or the
The
other.
race win was in Monza. The race win
Yeah,
was in Monza for sure.
the race definitely.
And the other one, but he got two podiums for sure. And with Alpha
Yes.
Tauri, so we all know that he's capable. We all know that he's capable, and it's very sensible, right decision. Massive thumbs up from Alpine.
Yeah, listen, and
For Alpine.
Pierre Gasly is a driver with a pedigree of experience. He still has potential. He's still relatively young as a driver on the whole, and while he's having a difficult season, there's still many more years where he can get back to his usual form. And the question is, who will be his teammate come next season? I mean, Alpine, right now, they're chasing Carlos Sainz. They're not
Yeah.
target, and rightfully so. But obviously, Sainz, he still has no idea what his future is going to be like in the next couple of months.
Sainz is keeping his options open.
Yeah, he's keeping his options open at the moment. I mean, listen, I think it would be I mean, as I said in the previous episodes, you're not going to agree with me on this, bro, but I think Alpine would be the better move over Williams. I might be wrong, but who knows?
At the moment, no. It wouldn't
At
be
the
the. I'm sorry. At the moment, yes, it would be the
at
better
the
move.
moment, yes. At the moment,
It would be
yes,
the
but
better
in the
move.
future, not so much.
Yeah.
I think. But obviously, if Sainz chooses to be in another team, I mean, the two drivers I'm thinking of, no, not actually two drivers, three drivers I'm actually thinking of at the moment. Jack Doohan, the reserve driver, Victor Martins, their fellow academy driver, or maybe they go for someone with experience. The one I'm thinking about at the moment is Valtteri Bottas. I mean, those three drivers are the only ones that I'm thinking of that might go to Alpine. I mean,
I don't think they would go for either Bottas or Victor Martins. I think they would go, if not Sainz, they would go for Jack Doohan.
my guess would be Jack Doohan as well. I think Valtteri Bottas, if they decide to part ways with Logan Sargent, I think Williams would be his team. He would end up with Williams. It would be like a reunion sort of for Valtteri.
Yeah.
I think Alpine should go for someone who is relatively new to the F1 scene. I think Jack Doohan is that guy. Will
Jack
have to
Doohan is the best option.
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, to wrap up on Pierre Gasly, obviously French driver in a French team, he still has a lot to bring within his skill set and within the sport. And obviously now since Ocon is leaving, now he'll he'll have he'll take the fray when it comes to leading the team. I think I think we're gonna see some leadership from Pierre. Let's
Yeah.
hope we see the the return of his mid Alpha Tauri days when he won that. Let's hope for the best. Um, on the other hand, this one again, we kind of knew this was gonna happen, but at the same time, I just it's such a what a I have no words for this. If you don't know what I'm talking, we're talking about, guys. Basically, Lance Stroll, the news that we didn't want that we didn't want to happen, unfortunately happened. Lance Stroll has extended his contract with Aston Martin until 2026, and obviously this ends speculation of his future. But at the same time, Aston Martin, they said that according to their statement, they said that they want to continue to race with him because of the F1 regulations. But we all know why they kept
What
him.
F1 regulations, man? What are you on about?
For 2026? But listen, we know why he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay because of his dad.
Of his daddy. Of his
I
daddy.
mean,
I have
that's
nothing
right.
to add really on it, bro. If I'm honest with you, I have nothing to add on it.
And listen,
Because
I
that's the
think
only
it's
reason for me is because of his daddy. What did he do? Did he do anything significant to warrant his seat again?
he's done nothing. He's done nothing, bro. Like
Exactly.
he may got like a podium or a podium or a great qualifying session in and there, but we're talking about a driver who's been out qualified on by his very well known by his very well experienced teammates in the past and presently, time and time again. I mean, we've rarely seen Stroll getting the better out of it.
He's been outclassed by Perez, Alonso. Who else?
A lot of drivers.
Bottas
Bottas, yeah,
with Williams.
Bottas with Williams, yes. But
I mean, the good performances for Stroll are very few and far in between.
very few. I
Very,
mean,
very few and far between.
this for me just screams because of his father. That is why they've announced his extension because I
Money
am not
talks, money talks,
yeah
bullshit walks.
money works and it's refreshing to see a lot. I mean, the majority of F1 fans against this move, including us two as well, because it's such a
Listen,
ridiculous
even on
move.
Facebook, it was there was more haha reactions than likes or anything like that.
It's not just on Facebook. It's on all
I,
social media
I only seen
platforms.
on I only seen on Facebook. I only seen on Facebook, but I
I
could
mean,
imagine what they were on Instagram, what they were on X. I could
I mean,
only imagine.
On X, just a shit ton of memes, just a lot of people just questioning their decisions, and even just again, the timing is also terrible because Aston Martin at the moment they're going through such a rocky phase in
They're
their
terrible at
season
the
at the
moment.
moment. No,
They're
they're
terrible.
no, again, this is very similar to the timing. Not only is absolutely this is absolutely ridiculous, but at the same time, the timing is just really weird as well. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, bro, I think you're right. I mean, we
That
all know it's a ridiculous decision from Aston Martin.
we
But
all
again,
know. We all know.
but listen, if you have shit drivers, expect shit results. That's all I can say
Facts. Facts.
about Aston Martin. But and with
Facts.
that, and with that, let's jump into the Austrian Grand Prix in Spielberg, bro. I don't know your thoughts about this track, but I am in favor of this track. It's one of my,
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, it's for the
I love
modern
it.
tracks. I'm not sure if it's the best of the modern tracks because I mean we don't have many great modern tracks at the moment. I mean the best tracks are obviously the traditional ones like Spa-Francorchamps or Monza and Monaco, yada yada yada. You know the gist. But Austria, I think it's a great addition to the F1 calendar.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
It's been now for the past 10 years, or how long? No, not 10 years. No, what am I saying? No, what am I
Not
saying?
10 years,
What am I
not 10
saying?
years.
But there was a period of time where where it wasn't getting included.
No,
And
yeah,
but what we've seen from the past 2 seasons is that a lot of the cars were going off track. We're having a
yeah.
lot of problem with the track limits. This
And
year, not so much.
we did
And they
have
made,
though.
yeah, we did have, but not as much as to the two previous seasons.
No. I think it
And
was
that
much
was
less.
that was raising a lot of concerns because of the
Yes.
past two previous seasons, since the new regulations came in, that Austria was becoming a bit of a problem in terms of
No.
how wide the cars are, how narrow the track is. So there was a lot of cars going off track and their lap
Yeah.
times being deleted. But this year, not so much. We did have, but not so much. And they did make a bit of a addition on the last corner on the
Yes.
start
Yes.
finish
I
straight
actually noticed that.
with the gravel. They did a slight gravel trap, so they would ensure the drivers are more aware, so they won't go off track.
Yes.
So they would keep
Absolutely.
within the track limits.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I
And
think
I agree with it. I agree with it.
and it looks like with every season passing by, I think we're seeing some more improvements when it comes to this like what you mentioned. Basically, I think with the
As they
track
should.
limits,
As they should.
we had less people, we had less drivers exceeding track limits. I mean, unfortunately, one of those drivers happens to be involved in the team I support, unfortunately, uh, but also this was another race weekend where we had a sprint race and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the first couple of laps were exciting, but other than that, it was routine, man. I mean, what do you think? Say what you
Yeah,
think.
yeah, pretty much. Not really, though. Not really. Not
No,
really, because I'm looking at the results here, and not so much. I mean, there's a resurgence. There's not a resurgence really, but one team back to back pretty solid qualifying sessions.
yes, exactly.
Pretty
Yeah,
solid qualifying sessions. One team, that
yeah,
a team that we just mentioned as well.
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get through the starting grid, the starting grids for the sprint for the sprint race, and then we'll get very quickly into how the sprint race was in general. But at the back of the grid, obviously no big surprises. Zhou Guanyu, Alex Albin, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hulkenberg, and Daniel Ricciardo. The first couple of drivers that got knocked out of the first part of sprint qualifying. Bro, getting to these very quickly. No big surprises when it comes to these drivers.
With these not really. With these not really. I mean, Hulkenberg though, he did have a pretty good race last time out, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, even this weekend,
Or
he
yeah,
had a
this weekend he performed
this
really
weekend he
solidly.
had a super race. He had a super race this weekend, but I think
So I reckon that's a bit of a disappointment for Hulkenberg to
yeah,
to start the
absolutely.
race in P17.
Logan Sargent actually was the fact he got out of Q1 was great
For
start
him, it's a win.
for
For him,
Logan,
it's a win.
but unfortunately in the second round of sprint qualifying he crashed. He got
Yeah,
and unfortunately he couldn't continue the rest of the qualifying session.
which was a
Elsewhere,
shame, really.
Yuki Tsunoda, 14th, going to a bit of
That's back to back, not two good races, no.
no, with the sprint qualifying, yeah, that's back to back, unfortunately. However, yeah, 14th isn't that great considering how his season has been going at the moment.
Yeah.
We've mentioned that before with regards to Lance Stroll, the two Aston Martins, Alonso and Stroll in 13th and 12th. Um, Aston Martin just going through a mediocre run at the moment. What do you think?
And the thing is, yeah, we just said Stroll. You know what's funny? We just said Stroll being outperformed constantly by his teammates, when in this sprint qualifying he outperformed his teammate.
Yeah, one of
How
the very
funny!
one of the
One of the very rare.
one of the very very rare occasions actually
How
this happens.
how
Yeah,
convenient, bro. How
how
convenient,
convenient.
man.
Yeah, very convenient indeed.
But listen, it wasn't by much. I mean, Alonso got a 105.878 and he got a 847.
They were very close. They were
Very
very
close,
close.
but 30 thousandths of a second.
Yeah,
Just,
very
just.
second. And above them, Kevin Magnussen 11. Yeah, outperformed his teammate, but at the same time, 11th place for a Haas. And let's face it, Haas had a fantastic weekend in general. I mean, not just in this sprint
Yeah,
qualifying, but the race.
especially in the race. Especially in
I
the
think
race.
I think it was their best performance
I believe so.
throughout the weekend.
They got a really good coup of points.
The next driver, not so much though. Leclerc in 10th.
You know what I didn't see. You know what I didn't see with Leclerc. How did he get the DNF?
I think he crashed. I think he crashed.
Oh, he crashed. Oh shit.
I think he crashed.
All
So
right.
basically, two Alpines, 9th and 8th with Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon.
What I just mentioned.
Moment, Alpine at the moment, they're
Yeah.
they're on a decent run of form.
Listen, both Alpine and Mercedes, them upgrades that they got, amazing.
And this brings me back to my point with Alpine on what I said in the previous episodes. They're slowly getting there. I mean, they're now making it to Q3.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think there's a certain Flavio Briatore who but
yeah.
but who knows? I mean, I'm not involved inside behind of what happens behind the scenes. But who
None
knows?
of us are, and I don't think we want to be.
No, Sergio Perez in 7th, stinky, bro. Stinky.
He's still stinking up the place, man. He's still stinking up the place. Listen, the longer this, the more the season goes on, the more I can confirm that's not Sergio Perez's car,
No.
or anywhere near, man.
They're putting the focus is obviously on that car. I mean,
We all know. I said this time and again throughout all the episodes that Red Bull is Max Verstappen FC. But this season, man, this season, the car that they've put up, it caters a lot more, if not all of the car, towards Max Verstappen and none of it towards Perez. How did Perez get this bad overnight? Did he get this bad overnight? There's no way.
No, and it feels like old news, isn't it, at the moment? Because it's not just the sprint qualifying, but also the qualifying and the race. He had another week.
At this moment, we sound like a broken record.
Yeah, absolutely. And the top six is pretty much as expected. Hamilton in 6th with the Mercedes, Carlos Sainz in 5th, George Russell in 4th, What do you think, bro, with the Mercedes and Ferrari? I think with Ferrari you expect much better than a sixth place, to be honest.
This is the third race running where
Fifth,
Mercedes.
fifth place. Sorry, fifth place. Sorry.
Oh, pardon me.
No, don't worry.
Fucking. Anyways, this is the fifth race running, yeah. Where I'm sorry, third race running where Mercedes have outperformed Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, have Mercedes leapfrog Ferrari? Have they leapfrogged them?
Maybe now, not at the moment.
I don't know, man. This is the third race running since Canada.
It might be at the moment. It's not looking that way, but Ferrari again.
Not at all. Not
Derek
at all.
is the worst, I think. And even Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, let's remember, he won a race season in Australia. So, not sure what's going on with him. What's going on with that team at the moment? But
I saw a post today, actually, funny enough. I saw a post today that Leclerc used all his luck to win in Monaco. Because after Monaco, he's been horrendous.
yeah,
Him and Ferrari as a whole.
Monaco
So he
Blues.
Yeah, he
Monaco
used
Blues.
he used all his luck to win in Monaco, and then to jeopardize his entire season.
I mean, at least he can be proud. At least he can be proud that he won. In Monaco.
Yeah, of course. To him, that was everything.
Let's
And
put it that way.
and even afterwards, he said that now I can race with a lot less pressure.
Yeah,
Fair enough,
I agree.
but
No,
bro,
no, I mean,
come on now.
no.
That's like that's the fourth race running after Monaco. Come on, man.
I mean, you said like in Canada, in Canada you said like let's just calm down a bit. This might be a one-off, but now it's not looking like a one-off.
Not really.
Not
Not
really.
really.
So, I
Not
think
really.
Ferrari slowly falling into old habits.
The spirit of Benotto, bro.
Yeah,
The spirit
yeah.
of Benotto
Yes.
is reappeared.
Repeating ourselves, yeah, absolutely.
For fuck's sakes.
George Russell in fourth. The two McLarens in third and second. Obviously, Max Verstappen got a sprint pole position. Now, Lando was very close to getting pole position with a
Yeah.
1:04.779, but Max snatched him right at the end with a 1:04.686. I mean, McLaren, we know how good the car is at the moment, but Lando just wants to win. I mean, he
Yeah.
really wants to win.
And you don't blame him. You can't blame him.
No,
You don't blame him.
I don't blame him at all. But I mean, right, all the way to the sprint race, it was looking like normal procedures with Max Verstappen just walking over the entire qualifying, the entire sessions. So if we look at the sprint race, the start, Max got a clean start as per usual, but the two McLarens were going head to head with Norris and Piastri.
Yeah.
Going head to head. The rest of the grid, not much happened. I mean, we could say this with every single sprint race at the moment because
It was separated.
it was
The
separated.
top three were separated from the rest.
But
I'm not hearing you clearly, bro. Not hearing you clearly.
okay, like this.
All right, like that, good, yeah.
Okay, perfect. No, I think the focus of the sprint race was going to be the two McLarens and Max Verstappen because it was
a
those two
2v1.
drivers. It was a 2v1, but at the same time, Piastri wasn't playing second fiddle with
No.
Lando Norris, and he really wanted to get in those podiums, and we saw some tussles between not just the two drivers, but also Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. I mean, at the moment, it was right around lap 5. Lando took the lead, and there was like a tussle between those.
Yeah, he took him on turn 2. Turn 2, yeah.
But then Lando went a little bit late, which paves the way for Oscar Piastri to make a move. And the first couple of laps, very close. That's like a sentence we weren't saying a lot when it came to the sprint races, but that was
That's very. Listen, to see some tag team action and with the McLarens against the Max Verstappen's Red Bull was pretty interesting. And it was even more interesting is the fact that there were two drivers of the same team going up against one driver of the team, and that one driver is still beating both of them.
Yeah, I mean, please, it hasn't been hasn't been like just super Max Verstappen galore like last
Yeah.
season. At least, I mean, at least like
Yeah.
we're seeing
Listen,
some.
this season as a whole, so far, much better than we expected, really.
Yeah, way better.
Much better than we expected, which is what we want to see, really.
I mean, at least we're seeing some different drivers. At least we're seeing some different drivers getting either pole positions or race wins. But
Yeah.
other than that, in the first couple of laps, nothing really, anything else. I mean, not much happened after that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Lando was a little bit was disappointed by the end because as we just mentioned as we mentioned just now, Lando wants to win a race. I mean, we said that Miami wasn't a one-off, and Lando. I mean, if we look at the driver standings, he's in contention for the drivers' world championship at the moment. It doesn't look like he can challenge Max, but who knows? Anything.
He's in second. Listen, he's in
He's in
second. He's
second.
not far
He's
off.
in second. He's not very far off, but after this weekend, I think he needs to learn. I mean, we'll get to Lando Norris very soon on what happened during the race, because I have like a few things to say about his mentality, basically. Um, he really wants. He's hungry for another race. When the same goes for Oscar Piastri, but
And he
in
should
the
be. I mean, he's got the
and they
car.
should be. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, listen, I'm very happy to see my team just fighting for points, and not just fighting for points, fighting for race wins as well. Um, but if we look at the drivers, we look at this at the sprint race. After those first couple of laps, it was just plain sailing at the end of the day
Yeah.
for Max.
Yeah.
He won the sprint race by
After
4 points.
after what happened when Max Verstappen retook Lando Norris on
Yeah.
turn 3, then Piastri and Norris came side by side, and Piastri took him
Yeah.
on the outside on turn 4.
That won't please Lando that much. I mean, he was very far from happy because he obviously wants to be the front and center of the team, but at the same time, Oscar Piastri isn't a driver that's going to be playing second fiddle with
No,
when
no,
it comes to the
no.
team. But in the end, aside from that, nothing much has happened. Max won the race. The sprint race was 23 laps by 4.616 seconds.
Yeah.
The two McLarens, second and third. Obviously, 13 points in the bag for the sprint race, which is great for us. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
gaining on Ferrari in the constructor standings. Um, George Russell in third, George Russell in fourth, Carlos Sainz in fifth, Hamilton in sixth, Leclerc in seventh, gaining some decent positions
Gain
the
3
race,
positions at least. Gain
and
some 3.
Sergio Perez getting the final point.
I don't want to talk about Perez, bro. I'm done with
No.
Perez.
I
I'm
mean,
done with Perez. Fuck him, bro.
I mean,
Honestly, I love him, but fuck him.
listen, we're gonna have to talk about him later on in the race. But I mean, that's 1 point, but just 17.4 seconds behind his teammate. I mean, just no words for it, honestly.
I don't want to, man.
No. Magnussen, Stroll, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ricardo, Alonso in 15th. Pretty poor for him. Sargent, Albin, Bottas, Hulkenberg, and Zhou Guanyu not scoring any points.
Yeah.
From the sprint races, this has probably been the best one, but that's not saying much. I mean, the sprint races this season haven't been the best, unfortunately.
Which is something I don't agree. I don't agree with the sprint races, honestly.
No. Same here. I mean, I've said in the
I
previous
don't agree.
episodes. I've said in the previous episodes that the sprint races, if we're going to see sprint races with every single Grand Prix in the future, I'm not sure about that. To be honest,
We're not fan. We're not a fan of those.
No,
for sure.
we're not fans, unfortunately. But anyhow, another sprint race gone, and now we get into qualifying. And in qualifying, bro, again, nothing much happened in qualifying, to be honest, because if we look at Q1, the same. No,
Yeah.
we did see a bit of a shock to a bit of a shock, but the two Saubers, Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas, both out in 20th and 18th, sandwiched in between Logan Sargent back to Logan Sargent settings in 19th.
Yeah, and is the shocker really a shocker?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying shocker in like.
Is it really a shocker though, bro?
In an ironic way, because Lance Stroll in 17th. I mean, bro, no guys.
Fresh off a contract
You
extension
know
as
how
well.
we feel about Lance Stroll.
Fresh off a contract
Wow,
extension
I
as
mean,
well.
chapeau Aston Martin.
Well
Chapeau
done,
Aston Martin.
well done.
I mean,
Well
perfect,
done, Lawrence Stroll. Well
perfect.
done, Lawrence Stroll.
Well, perfect organization of how we're gonna plan with Lance Stroll for the future, basically, and that's the perfect way.
Same with what they did with Alonso. Same with what they did
No,
with
no,
Alonso.
but this is even
But this
more
is worse.
hilarious.
This is way worse.
No, no,
This is way worse.
no.
This is way more hilarious.
Listen. Alonso can get away with it because he's a two-time world champion. But with Lance Stroll, no, he can't get away with it. He
Nah,
has earned
nah,
absolutely nothing to get that extension.
nah.
So yeah, perfect way to start the content, to start phase a new phase in Lance Stroll's life with Aston Martin. But anyhow,
Shout out to his daddy, Lawrence Stroll.
shout out,
Shout
indeed.
out, shout out, lol. He's probably on a Ritz Carlton somewhere sipping a
Yeah,
Godfather.
yeah, perfect.
Probably.
But yeah, continuing on, Alex Albon in 16th, Williams, man. This is why I said that Carlos Sainz shouldn't go to Williams, because look how they're performing at the moment. I
They
mean,
can't hit the ground running this
they
year.
can't hit. They just cannot catch a break this season at the moment.
They can't,
And
man.
it really is a shame, because last season they've had Alex Albon
Practically carrying the team.
practically carrying the team, but this season they have just nothing to share about at the moment, unfortunately, and it's a shame, because I
Not
love
really,
Williams.
not really.
I really, really
Absolutely.
like Williams.
They're such a historic team in the sport. They're
By the
such a
way,
historic team.
just a bit off topic. Turkey just scored in the first minute against Austria for
Oh,
the qualification.
and I expect Austria to go through tonight.
No, but that's what we're still the 30th minute. I mean, by the time we go there,
Center yourself,
we're gonna
bro,
match,
because I can't
but
hear you.
no, excuse me.
Don't worry.
No, I mean we're still in the 30th
Who scored? Who
minute.
scored? Who scored? Who scored? Let me check.
Demiral, Mary Demiral.
Mary Demiral. All right. All right.
Apparently, it was their first shot of the game, I think. So
Respect. Respect.
yeah, absolutely. But moving on, we go into Q2. Alonso 15th again. Poor. I know
Listen, we talk about Williams not catching a break. Talk about Aston Martin.
Aston Martin got some points at least, but
Yeah,
still.
they did. But listen, with how they were last season, how they started last season, and how they've
This year's worse.
dwindled down.
This year's worse.
Yeah, no, this year's worse. But
This
they've
year's worse.
dwindled. But since the start of last season till now, they've dwindled down bit by bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this season, bro, it has been like a Mike Tyson knockout for them.
And it's absolutely not. It's not where they want to be at the moment.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not at the moment. Yuki Tsunoda in 14th. Same as the sprint qualifying. Nothing to really add with regards to Yuki. He knows he can perform way better than that position. And yeah, not nothing much to add with regard to Yuki Tsunoda. Pierre Gasly in 13th. A little bit disappointing considering in sprint qualifying he got himself into the top 10. Magnussen in 12th, one short of his sprint qualifying position. Daniel Ricciardo in 11th. Yes,
Improve from the sprint quali.
Despite getting knocked out in Q2, improvement from
Yeah,
him. And
much needed.
That marked an that signaled much improved things to come for him, because when it came to
Are we seeing a bit more aggressive Danny Rick?
Listen, about time he becomes aggressive.
It is about time.
It is about time he becomes aggressive, because with the way his season has been going at the moment, he really needs to get he really needs to start to get things going at the moment. So
Yeah.
Um,
Much needed for sure.
Esteban Ocon in 10th, another Q3 appearance for him. That's back to back, if I'm not mistaken. Now,
Yeah, back to back.
Q3 qualification, back to back Q3 qualifications for him. I think that exit news has really got himself moving. Ironically enough,
It has ignited him. Listen, it affects people in many different ways. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. For example, we've seen Sainz when the news broke out that Hamilton was replacing him, he practically has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And he's driving like he has nothing to lose.
And
Since the start of the
listen,
season till now.
and
Ocon the same. Now he has nothing to lose, Ocon. So
yeah, and listen, I think with Esteban Ocon, he's in the same situation as Carlos Sainz. Still has
yeah,
no idea where his future is going to be like in the next couple of months. So if he really wants to get an F1 seat next season, the seats are running out at the moment. I'm not. There aren't many teams. There aren't many seats. There aren't any many seats. There aren't many seats left at the moment. So if he really wants to get that seat next season, he really needs to get things going. And I think back-to-back Q3 qualifications will be a confidence booster for him.
I still reckon though that Sainz will get one of the Formula One seats for next season, and Ocon will take another sabbatical. That's my take on it.
Or he becomes a reserve driver. Who knows?
Probably. That's my
Doesn't
take on it.
doesn't bode well, to be honest, because
Yeah.
if he once again becomes a reserve driver. But anyhow, um, Nico Hülkenberg in ninth.
Yeah.
Back to his early season form into
Yeah.
Q3, and this wasn't the end of his great weekend because in the race he also ended up in those top 10 places and
Yeah.
ninth place. I mean, Hülkenberg, I've said in the previous episodes, he's basically doing an Alex Albon of last season with Williams, and he's doing it this season with Haas, carrying the team at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely,
Carrying,
bro. And
carrying the team.
Haas are still going with the trend, with their own trend of just
Yeah,
quietly going about their business.
quite going about their business as well. But on the other hand, speaking of drivers not carrying the team,
I don't want to, bro.
Sergio Perez in 8th. I'm sorry, bro. We're gonna have to mention Perez again. Sergio Perez in 8th. Let's move on quickly for him because we already gave you your thoughts on how we feel about Sergio Perez at the moment, and we're gonna get into the nitty gritty for him when it comes to the race. Oscar Piastri in 7th. Now Piastri actually set a lap time towards the top 3, but unfortunately, he was one of the few drivers that exceeded track limits. So
Yeah, got his lap time deleted.
his lap time was deleted, and he had to settle with 7th place. And this unfortunately costed him the weekend. Costed him a potential race. We'll get obviously to Oscar to about that later on when we talk about the race. So disappointing for Oscar Piastri to be in those positions, and hopefully this unfortunately was a bit of a repetition of what happened in Canada, where his lap time was also deleted because of track limits, and he really needs to fix those errors with him. I mean, he still has plenty of time to get those errors out of the way. But yeah, unfortunately, disappointing for Oscar. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I think he would be devastated, especially where he finished in the race and the chances he had after what happened. He would be gutted to have started in P7 because if he started in that P3 spot in that top 3, he would have been the one that won that race, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would be gutted, and it would have been such an achievement for him. It would have been his first proper race win.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, he did win a race in the sprint
It
race
was a
last
sprint
year.
race. It was a sprint race, though.
But to win a proper race, I think it's much more of an honor, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it was basically a tussle between Ferrari and Mercedes. Leclerc in 6th, Hamilton in 5th, Carlos Sainz in 4th, and George Russell in 3rd. Again, bro, I think it was. I think Ferrari got out qualified by both Mercedes.
If it's listen, if Mercedes are not above us, it's at least neck and neck.
Yeah, at
Even
the
though I
moment,
still reckon Mercedes became just above us now.
it's looking.
That's why I reckon.
It's looking like that at the moment because if we're gonna base on the last couple of races, Mercedes have had the better have had the better races than Ferrari, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Definitely.
Since Canada, the past 3 races.
But
But
yeah, but the top 2, it was basically. I mean, this entire weekend was basically Max Verstappen versus Lando
Lando
Norris,
Norris.
and Max got the better out of Lando again, setting a 104.314.
The
And
fact
Lando,
that he blitzed Norris by about 3-4 tenths there was insane.
yeah, I mean,
That was insane. It shouldn't have been that much, to be honest. I don't know
no,
where
no,
I don't know where he found the time. on the track, but that was insane from Verstappen.
And it just shows where he is at the moment.
Listen, we all know he's a
Very seriously.
world-class driver. He is one of the best already. We're
Yeah,
witnessing
agree.
greatness with Verstappen, so
Yeah,
we're not surprised by that.
absolutely. And that leads us to the race. Now, unfortunately, I had to watch the race on demand because I was, as I mentioned very early on in the at the start of this episode, most of my week was at the Mediterranean Film Festival. So basically, I spent from Thursday to Sunday full days at Valletta, basically. So I had to watch all the sprint qualifying race, sprint race, the qualifying, the race afterwards on demand. Go TV. Shout out to them, lifesavers, for giving me the platform to watch, to be able to analyze the race properly. And bro, why don't you give us a bit of a rundown of how the race went? Because
Yeah, I did
um,
watch the race. I did watch
yeah,
the race
because
on Sunday.
yeah, because apart from the first like the 2/3 of the race, it was same routine. Max, it looked like that Max was walking towards
The action was going
yeah,
on in the beginning of the race from the start, and then
yeah,
the last bit. But the start practically, it wasn't chaotic, but there was something that really hindered a driver's progress in the race, and that driver is unfortunately Ferrari's Charles Leclerc.
yeah.
Practically, he crashed. He had contact with Piastri. I forgot which corner.
It was
But
one
what
of
I
the first few
know,
corners.
one of the first few corners, but it damaged his front wing. He had to go into box, and that practically ruined his race,
It was straight
which was
away,
a shame.
right on lap one. It was ruined.
Right on lap one, man. That was practically it because Verstappen had a pretty good start, and he was about 2 seconds ahead of Nando Norris, about 5 laps
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
So, and then there were the first round of pit stops, which was a 2 stop. Now, this is the thing, yeah, and I found it baffling. The mediums were more durable than the hards during the race,
I agree
which was absurd. It blew
because
my mind.
and speaking of the hard tires, Leclerc did his first pit stop, but then Ferrari quickly realized that wasn't
Yeah,
the go- that they fucked up with their pit stops and they had to do another stop, and that pretty
yeah,
much compromised Leclerc's race.
yeah. It
Again, which was
compromised Leclerc even further.
yeah, pretty much
So
out
basically,
of the point straight away.
pretty much another Canada, just
Yeah,
different circumstances. Practically, the spirit of Benotto.
yeah, definitely.
So, and that blew my mind. Honestly, blew my mind how how the medium was more durable than the hards. I don't know because the hards should be more durable than the mediums because of the rubber on the
I think,
tire.
and we didn't see this last year as well. I think it maybe it was because the conditions that we
Was it
had. It
the track
made a
temperature? Was
difference.
the track surface?
It was a sunny day, to be fair, in Austria
It
as well,
was. It
so
was. It was.
it might have made a bit of a difference, but
But that blew my mind, bro. Eh?
yeah, absolutely. It looked like it was going to be a it was going to be a two-stop race because or a three-stop race because
Two to three stop. Two
two
to
to
three
three-stop
stop.
race. The first 2/3 of the race, it was pretty much standard routine.
Yeah.
We all thought Max was going to like open up like a 7 second or a 10 second advantage over every
Yeah.
single opponent in the race. Um, but then towards the last bit, that's where things started to get
In the
really
last 20
really
laps or so.
interesting.
Was it the
Um,
last 20 laps or so?
yes, the last 10 laps actually, because before that,
Yeah, but the last 20 laps, Norris was gaining on Verstappen
um,
slowly but surely.
but before that, we did see a couple of overtakes in the middle portion of the grid, especially with the two Alpines,
Yeah.
Ocon and Gasly getting together. Again, I'm not really surprised with the two Alpines getting together. I mean, Esteban Ocon, we know he's not a team player, so
I mean,
I
what does he
wasn't.
have to lose at the moment?
I mean, I'm not too surprised that he was going neck and neck with his teammates.
Yeah.
They are lucky that they didn't collide it because unfortunately, but the same can't be said for Max Verstappen and Lando Norris because from the last portion of the race, the two drivers were neck and neck. I mean, Verstappen had a time penalty that he had to serve, so his pit stop ended up being a slow one
Yeah.
because of an unsafe release.
Yeah,
So
and previously on
that
Lando Norris as well.
on Lando Norris as well. So that pretty much opened up the possibility of Lando Norris having basically a potential opportunity of winning the race. Now, obviously, Max had a slow stop because one of the rear tires was in place correctly.
Yeah,
So that pretty much opened up the gap for Lando Norris to gain up on Max Verstappen. And by the last couple of laps, he was on his ass, and
yeah,
Lando basically was in torpedo mode at the moment. He wanted to win the race big
yeah,
time, and by lap 55, he was on Lando. He was basically on Max, right behind Max Verstappen.
yeah,
There were two laps that he had a go at overtaking him, but the first time he only missed by just. The second time he he did breeze past him, but he went slightly off track, so I have to give the place back to Max Verstappen.
yeah.
Third time lucky. Third time he wasn't lucky because
No.
both drivers end up colliding together, which resulted in both drivers having punctures.
Yeah,
Lando was forced to retire, was forced to end up retiring from the race. But Max had to do a pit stop, had to serve a 10-second time penalty for blocking Lando Norris, basically for what happened in the collision.
yeah.
But that was enough for him to get into fifth place. Now, bro,
And fastest lap.
and the fastest lap of the race. Now, bro, um, obviously a lot of people are blaming are pretty much on Lando Norris' side on who's to blame for the collision. But I want to ask you, who's in fault, Max or Lando?
Listen, I seen it, yeah. I think with what we've seen is Max Verstappen 1.0 here.
What do you mean? Sorry, Max Verstappen 1.0?
What we mean is Max Verstappen residing back to his old dirty tactics. The second there's some pressure,
Mad Max.
he's gonna reside to some tactics because there were some mad moves that he was doing. For example, on the first attempt at Lando Norris, you could see Verstappen moved a bit to the side to block off Norris, just a tiny bit. That was cheeky for Max Verstappen. Cheeky, fair but cheeky. He did it and he blocked off Norris just enough to prevent him from making the move. Then the second time, Norris did the move, but he went off track. He overshot it.
Yeah.
But still got it, so he had to get the place back. Then the third time, honestly, I don't know why Norris is trying to make a move on the outside.
Yeah, and that leads me to my point because for me, as much as everyone is blaming Lando, is blaming Max for colliding with Lando. I think Lando needs to take some responsibility and he has to take the blame for it because
he needs to chill out a bit.
he needs
What,
to
what
chill
we're
out.
saying, Lando Norris, practically what we're saying from Lando
needs to
Norris
chill out.
is that, let's say, naivety.
Yeah, I agree.
Naivety. What we were seeing from Charles Leclerc back in 2022.
Yeah,
It's the
I
same,
agree.
in my opinion. In my
For
opinion, it's
me-
the same.
For me, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay that he wants to win, and he should want to win because he has the resources, he has the car, no doubt. But the difference between Max and Norris is not the driving ability; it's the naivety, it's the experience.
Yeah.
And that's where Verstappen absolutely supersedes Norris, and that's where he won the battle, even though they both went out. But in that third attempt, Norris had no need to go on the outside. No
he
need.
didn't need to do it.
That was desperate from Norris.
For me, my point with this is that I think Max was simply racing at that moment. He was basically racing. We know.
Dirty. He
But
was
that's
dirty
his
though.
style. But that's his style. Listen,
That's what you're gonna get with him. That's what you're gonna get with him.
With Max Verstappen, we know he's a 3-time world champion. And he's a driver. He's a no-nonsense driver. If he's going to go for an overtake, or if someone's about to overtake him, he is going to defend for his fucking life.
Yeah.
So,
and even after the crash, even after the crash in turn 2, where Verstappen got the puncture first, he was squeezing Norris off track.
Yeah.
And Verstappen had the puncture.
Yeah, but
that was so unnecessary, bro.
It was so unnecessary, but at the same time, when it comes to Lando Norris, this isn't the first time where we've seen Lando failing to deliver under pressure. We've seen what happened with Russia, where rain poured down. He was
Yeah.
actually was about to win the race, but he decided to stay out. We've
Yeah.
had similar occasions where he was in a great position to win the race and he fucked it up. And the same happened here. He knew that Max was about to get a 10-second time penalty for the actions he did, but
Yeah.
instead of holding on to the positions, of holding on to his position to get some points, no, he just wanted he was just being he just wanted to be naive and wanted to get the race, and now he's ended up with no points at all. Coming
Yeah,
up to this
but
weekend.
but I think what was happening was Lando
Yeah,
Norris was pushing ASAP because of the tires he was on.
yeah,
He knew that was his best chance.
fair enough,
At
but
that moment, that was his best chance because as soon as his tires were start to go, that's when Verstappen was blitz.
yeah, but I don't think I think if for me if Lando remained there and Max would have had to serve his time penalty, he would have easily won the race because during the entire weekend he was on fire on the sprints and on the sprint race on the sprint qualifying on the sprint race and also on qualifying. So he was in a great position to win the race, but his naivety and his usual on
Impatience.
his impatience of not getting into the pressure. He needs to have if he wants to become a world champion.
And
He
even
needs to
the
have the
overtakes he
mentality.
were
I'm
doing,
sorry.
and even the overtakes they were they really overtakes because they looked more like dive bombs.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They look more like
Because
dive bombs. They weren't necessarily
he
overtakes.
was not being patient. Lando was just every time because in the first two moves he was lucky, but he was acting like he's a
And mind
fucking
you,
rocket ship every time.
mind you, before the incident happened, the FIA race control was looking at Lando Norris for track limits.
Yes, and he actually got a time penalty actually, but after he
Yeah,
got his puncture. So I think he'll have to
so that
serve
was
his
a
time.
double whammy.
That was a double whammy for Lando Norris because now the chances are he'll have to serve his time penalty this week in Silverstone. So
Yeah,
for me, I'm sorry,
but yeah, but does it carry over?
I think it carries over. Yeah, I
That's
think it
kind of bullshit, bro.
I think it carries over to the next race because
That's bullshit.
he ended up with a DNF. So my guess is that he will have to serve it in Silverstone this week.
That's
But
kind of bullshit, but whatever.
but and the ironic thing is he got driver of the day.
Yeah,
Why did he got driver of the day? I have no clue. I think for me he's not he's actually a major contender for loser of the day because he
yeah,
absolutely fumbled it. He fumbled
yeah.
it. He was in a great position to win the race and to get some decent points in the team. He could listen if he would have got points and the same with Oscar because Oscar Piastri was also in the top five. We would be pretty much striking distance ahead of Ferrari in the constructors
Yeah,
championship.
yeah. Y'all would have leaped for Ferrari. Y'all would have leaped for Ferrari, I believe.
If not leapfrogging Ferrari, but um, big disappointment for Lando Norris. Look, as much
Yeah,
as everyone is blaming Max, for me Max was simply racing.
yeah.
I think
We all know what we're gonna
yeah,
get with Verstappen.
yeah,
We
absolutely.
all know.
Maybe
To
that
beat
puncture,
to beat
yeah,
Verstappen, you need to beat him in his own game.
yeah, definitely. And
That's what you need to do.
I think the only part where I have to blame Max was when he got the puncture, where he squeezed Lando.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
That was
That
that
was
was that
so
was
unnecessary.
that was so needless from Max. I mean,
That was so
he's
salty. Salty.
it was so salty as well.
That's the word. Salty,
And
bro.
listen, Lando was got punished for that, but Max didn't got. I mean, Max also got punished, but he
At
at
least
least
he got fifth
at least he
and the
got 10.
fastest lap.
He got some points in the bag, but the question is, how will the relationship between the two drivers will be? I think it will take a big hit. I think. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's jeopardized. Even the press conferences
yeah,
afterwards, they weren't really that respectful
yeah,
with their comments. Even
yeah,
I believe
fair.
Lando Norris even said it that
Yeah,
he lost a lot of respect for
yeah,
Verstappen.
yeah. But
Yeah,
but to be fair, with Lando, he seems to be in high spirits for his upcoming race in Silverstone. It's his home race as well,
Yeah.
so he looks like he's moved on quickly from that. But this has been a double whammy for Lando Norris this weekend. He has that move has costed him. The first two overtakes he did, he was lucky, but the third time he wasn't lucky, and he
No.
and he got punished there as a result. Um,
His
for
naivety and impatience costed him dearly.
and for me, he's not being mature. I'm sorry. If he really
That's where
wants,
naivety comes in.
that's where naivety comes into play. Because if he wants to be a world champion, he needs to have that mentality of like what Lewis Hamilton has, of what Max Verstappen has, what Sebastian Vettel, Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. The list just keeps on going.
Max Verstappen himself.
Fernando Alonso. The list just keeps on going. He needs to have that patience, because if you're not in a position to win the race, or what happened, for example, in this race where Max was about to get a 10-second penalty and Lando was in second place and was about to win the race, he should have stayed there and not go full battleship Potemkin on his ass basically, because yeah, listen, he didn't need to be
No,
he
but I
didn't need to
agree
go
with you.
down.
I agree with you, man. I
I'm
agree
sorry,
with you. He didn't
and
need
that
to. That was so unnecessary. And
and
thanks to that incident,
George Russell was the lucky guy. He couldn't believe his luck because George Russell was in third at the moment, and that pretty much opened the door for him to win the race, and that's exactly what happened. And
and
listen,
that's the fourth constructor to win this year.
yeah, listen, what a run Mercedes are at the moment. Listen,
Did
jo-
they already? They're already on a good
they're on
run.
the run.
The fact
Listen,
that they won, yes, they won it thanks to Lando Norris and Verstappen's incident, but it's still a win.
yeah, a lot of drivers got the advantage of that incident, but George Russell, that is only his second
Good
race win
win.
of his entire career. So listen, it might have happened because of luck, but let's not forget, George Russell started in the top three
Yeah,
in the race.
yeah.
So that was a result of his qualifying performance. So he might
So
have
as much because he won because of the incident, it was deservedly so.
it was deservedly so, and
It was.
he made full advantage of that incident, and he won, and he ended up winning the race. And for him and for Mercedes, that is such a relief
A
for the
boost. That is
such
such a boost.
a boost for them. And they
Such a
are,
boost.
and listen, I've said it in the previous episode, they are slowly getting up into their business at the moment.
Yeah.
It's another, not only more. It's not only a top five finish. It's a race win for George Russell, and obviously huge celebrations for him. He couldn't believe his luck at the moment.
Yeah.
Our old Georgie boy. So
Yeah.
fantastic result for George. I mean, only a second race win, and let's hope he'll have more of these occasions because um, he's had a long journey to get where he is at the moment, George Russell. So
Absolutely.
very happy for him. Um, which brings me to Oscar Piastri, who finished in second place. Now, as I said before, if Oscar's lap time wasn't deleted because of track limits, he would have won the race.
He would have won the race and not
He
Russell.
would he would have won the race because obviously McLaren was the better of the Mercedes is the better of the Mercedes car at the moment, and he was in a great position to win the race. But unfortunately, his because he exceeded track limits, it he his weekend was compromised as a result.
Yeah.
The same scenario that happened in Canada. And listen, second place on paper, it's a great result for McLaren, but at the same time,
Absolutely.
it's disappointing because I think we were in a great position to win a race if it
To win that race.
whether it was Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri. But yeah, I mean not only Oscar is disappointed, but I am disappointed as well because I really expected
I
us to
think
get
I
to,
think
to,
I
to,
think
to
I
get a
think
win.
I think for you it's a bit of a bittersweet Grand Prix this one, no?
Yeah, it was. It was. We got
It's a bit of a bittersweet Grand Prix.
it was a bittersweet. It was bittersweet. Yes, we got 18 points, and yes, I think we got more points than Max. But one of our rivals won a race, And because of if it wasn't because of Lando's naivety and it wasn't because of Oscar's lap being deleted, we would have got serious points in the team. We would have
Absolutely.
we would have probably got like a 1-2 or a 1-3 finish if I'm being
Probably.
completely honest. But yeah, bummer, big bummer. Let's hope Silverstone is a much better showing from us. But disappointed if I'm being honest. Yes, second place, but um,
Bittersweet.
it's bittersweet. Yes. Um, Carlos Sainz in third. Again, I think it's also
I'm happy
bittersweet
with
because
it.
yeah, yeah,
As well, bittersweet as well. I'm happy with it, but also bittersweet. Yes.
because Leclerc didn't score any points
Nope.
as
Nope.
well. That was a poor weekend for him.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. He got compromised on lap one, bro.
what do you think about Sainz getting third? I mean, obviously
Absolutely happy.
the
Absolutely
Lando,
happy.
obviously the Max and Lando collision made a difference because I mean,
The whole grid actually.
for the
The
whole
whole
grid,
grid.
yeah.
The whole grid
Uh-huh.
made it, and I'm very happy with Sainz. Even listen, not just Sainz, but Ferrari as a whole to get a podium.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Very happy with that. It's the most it's the most we could have hoped for. A
Yes.
podium.
Yeah.
And we got it thankfully.
I agree. I agree. Um, Hamilton in fourth. Ending up just 23 seconds behind the top three.
Yeah.
Behind George Russell. Not much to add with Hamilton. I think
He
obviously
had a pretty solid race.
um,
He had a pretty solid race, Hamilton.
Mercedes had a great weekend, to be fair, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, first and
Yeah.
fourth, they have nothing to argue about. But yeah, with Hamilton, I think he would be a little bit under. He would be a little bit bummed that he's not in the top three. But I think there are no argument.
Nah.
No
I don't
contention.
think there should be. I don't think there should be within the
Um,
Mercedes camp at the moment.
no, not at all. Um, Max Verstappen in fifth, despite that collision and despite that 10-second penalty, because of how big the distance, the gap was between the top five and the sixth place. He's remained in fifth despite all that 10 points. Obviously Red Bull didn't had a great weekend because Sergio Perez's teammate didn't end up fairly as well.
But
But
who
San
had a great weekend though was
where
Haas.
was Haas. Nico Hulkenberg in six. That's easily
Massive.
his best weekend and Haas's best weekend because Kevin Magnussen's teammate ended up in eighth. That's a top 10 finish for Haas. Unbelievable weekend. Probably
Absolutely.
and a major contender for driver for winners of the day, in my opinion,
To
as
me,
well.
to me, to me, they're my. I don't really have a driver of the day.
George Russell, I think.
I would give it to George, but I'm gonna give it to winners of the day, and I'm gonna pick Haas for my winners of the day.
Yeah, solid choice. It's a solid
I'm
choice as
gonna
well.
pick for Haas. I don't really. I could pick Russell for driver of the day, yes, but I'm gonna go winners of the day for me, and
It's a
for
solid
me are
choice.
Haas.
It's a solid choice. I agree. Um, wow. I mean, Nico Hulkenberg again. He's moving on at the end of the season, and I think Haas are going to feel his absence definitely because at the moment, obviously Madison got points in the team, but Hulkenberg is doing a superb job this season with that Haas. Not only outscoring their rivals but getting a top 10 finish, unbelievable performance from Haas.
Absolutely.
And Ayo Kamatsu is doing a brilliant job. Obviously, the complete opposite of what Gunther Steiner did with the team. Ayo Kamatsu is doing a brilliant job at the moment with
Yeah,
the team.
absolutely.
He deserves his flowers. Um, Sergio Perez in seventh, mediocre race for him. I mean, not even mediocre. It's not even mediocre to be honest. It's a shit race for him. I mean,
At this point it's expected for Sergio Perez.
it's old habit. It's old news.
When
It's
was the
old
last time
news.
we when was the last time we seen Perez in the top five, bro?
Forgot. I honestly forgot because it's been such a long time since that happened.
I can't recall.
No, not even same here as well. Um, Daniel Ricciardo in ninth, outscoring his teammate Yuki Tsunoda, and in the points. Listen, 2 points they may be peanuts
Measly but much
measly,
needed.
much needed, and I think he would be very happy with that performance with his result. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo, and he really needed that. and getting the final point. Pierre Gasly, fresh off sign,
For contact extension boy Pierre Gasly.
fresh off sign a new contract extension with Alpine, and he gets that by getting a solidary point for the team. So 1 point for Alpine, but a much needed point for them. Finishing outside the points, Leclerc in 11th. Obviously, that first lap compromised him completely for
Yeah,
the entire race. Um, poor
which is a
weekend for
pity.
Charles Leclerc, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Continuing his run of form at the moment. Asked about Ocon in 12th. He would disappointing for Ocon considering in the sprint he finished in the top 10. So that is quite disappointing for Esteban Ocon. Um, Stroll in 13th, Tsunoda 14th. Poor weekends for both drivers. The same goes for Alex Albon, Valtteri Bottas, and Zhou Guanyu, Sauber
What
and
about
Williams.
what
Sauber and
about
Williams both
Alonso
outside the
finishing in
points.
18th, bro?
Yeah, Alonso 18th. Disastrous weekend for Fernando Alonso. Um, just can't catch a break at the moment. Fernando
No,
Alonso.
absolutely, bro. And
He
it's
just can't catch
disappointing,
a break.
really.
Yeah, massively disappointing for him. Logan Sargent doing Logan Sargent things in 19th, being backlapped by 2 laps. Just,
Yeah,
I mean, at the moment, Logan Sargent at the moment, he just needs to get sacked. I mean, we're just waiting for the inevitable news to happen. Valtteri Bottas or any other driver just replace him midway through the season. I mean,
I think it's inevitable now.
I think it's inevitable now when it comes to Logan Sargent. And obviously Lando Norris, because of that collision, he ended up retiring from the race. Um, driver of the day. We have a lot of contenders for driver of the day. I think George Russell deserves it. I think.
I'd give it
Yeah,
George too.
yeah.
I'd give it
I would.
George as well.
I think I'm on the same. I think I'm on the same ground as you are at the moment, bro. Because I think our driver of the day is George Russell, and our winners of the day, I think, when it comes
Haas.
to the team, it's Haas. I mean, they've had
Haas,
a,
absolutely.
a top 10 finish for both drivers is a brilliant result for them.
Yeah.
But if we go for losers of the day, this is where it gets quite heated because we have a lot of contenders for losers of the day. We
I mean, we
have
have Norris, we
we
have
have
Leclerc.
we have Lando Norris, we have Charles Leclerc, we have Max Verstappen as well. But
We
I
could
think,
include him, but at least Verstappen, the only saving grace for him, he finished in the top 5 and with the fastest lap.
yeah,
So that could be a bit of a saving grace.
we have Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso as well. Those are two drivers that are in contention, definitely.
I'm a toss up between Norris and Leclerc.
I'm gonna go with Lando Norris though because he did a Spurs basically. He absolutely bottled that race. I think that's the best way to describe it basically because
Yeah, I agree. I'll
for
go with
me
Norris as well.
that's on him. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going to be blaming Max for that, but because Lando has a lot of he has plenty of fans, but for me, Lando needs to take the blame and needs to show the responsibility for this one. He fumbled the race completely, and he's going to be my pick for loser of the day. Leclerc is very close to be
Yeah,
my pick, but
close second. He is close second.
but I think Leclerc, he had similar weekends and what he had in Austria this weekend. So because Lando hasn't learned from his mistakes, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm sorry. I know Lando's my boy, and even Oscar's my boy as well. But Lando, unfortunately, I'm sorry. You're gonna be my pick for this.
He has a bit of a long way to go, Norris.
Yeah.
And you know what we haven't mentioned for a bit? Dick of the day.
Suki Tsunoda.
For me, Verstappen.
No. You go with Max Verstappen. Yeah, fair enough. I think because of
Tsunoda got fined 40k euros
yes
for swearing at the team.
For swearing at the team. And listen, I mean, it's typical.
I mean, for me, that's
typical
clown of the
Tsunoda.
day. That's clown of the day for me.
But he's also a dick, man, because he did.
Yeah, he didn't need to do it.
Listen, he didn't need to do it, but at the same time, it's PQQ Tsunoda.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd go with Verstappen still, but you can get him fined
Yeah.
40k euro for swearing at the team is hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, even I mean, when I heard the team radio, I was like, "Yup, that's Yuki Tsunoda, right?"
Yep, yeah.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, he is going to be my pick for clown of the day and also dick of the day. And that's pretty much it for the Austria Grand Prix. Um, the first 2/3 of the race was a snooze fest, to be honest, but the last third was a blockbuster race. I mean,
Yeah.
that was one to remember. Unfortunately, my team didn't do that great overall, but let's hope that Silverstone is much more things to improve. But if we look at the standings now, Max Verstappen has an 81 point advantage over Lando Norris with 237 points. Lando has 156 points. Leclerc stays in third with 150 points. Carlos Sainz with 135 points in fourth. Sergio Perez remains in fifth with 118 points. But Oscar Piastri is catching up on him in sixth with 112 points. Russell just a point behind with 111 points. Hamilton in eighth with 85 points. Fernando Alonso with 41 points in ninth. Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. Lance Stroll in 11th with 17 points. Hulkenberg 14 points in 12th. Danny Ricciardo in 13th with 6 points. Oliver Behrman, Pierre Gasly in 14th with 6 points respectively. Kevin Magnussen 5 points in 16th. Esteban Ocon in 17th with 3 points. Alex Albin in 18th with 2 points. Zhou Guanyu, Valtteri Bottas, and Logan Sargent still without a single point in the season so far. And
Pointless.
if we look at the teams, Red Bull stay on top with 355 points. Ferrari in second with 291 points. McLaren, however, are just 23 points behind with 268 points. Mercedes in fourth with 196 points. They're also catching up on both Ferrari and McLaren. They seem to be behind at the moment, but they're slowly catching up on the two teams. Aston Martin in fifth with 58 points. Racing Bulls in sixth with 30 points. Haas in seventh with 19 points. Alpine in eighth with 9 points. Williams in ninth with 2 points. And Sauber are still pointless in dead last in 10th.
I swear, the day Sauber get a points finish, everyone will rejoice.
Yeah,
At
absolutely.
this point,
The same goes for us.
I
All right.
swear.
Yeah, yeah, same here. All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of this episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials. Next episode is just in less than a week's time because we are heading to Silverstone for the last race of our triple header weekend. And Silverstone is one of my favorite tracks. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I love Silverstone. The quick question: do you prefer the new layout or the old layout?
Oh, that's a tough question, actually. Whew.
I got used to the new layout though. The old layout was lit.
Yeah, but I think I'm even me. I think I'm used to the old
I'm just
to the
so
new
used to the new
layout
layout.
to the new layout now. Yeah, I agree with that as well. But we'll get more in that in next week's next episode. Until that, guys, make sure to keep on listening to our episodes. It means the world to us. And with that, we see you in less than a week's time. Hope you have a
Thank you very
great
much, guys. Good
hope you
night. Take
hope,
care.
hope you have a great week, day, or wherever you're listening to us from. And with that, it is goodbye. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Love.